Assalamualaikum and a very good day. Today I will present the paper, the title Adaptation Approach of Post-Pandemic Food Plan Producing Community in Kundasang, Sabah. Food security consists of three main conceptual bases: availability of food, access to food and consumption of food. Food security refers to food availability guarantee, food access guarantee, and food consumption guarantee. FAO 2020 placed aspects of availability, stability, and access as the main pillars of food security. Food security can be interpreted as a situation when every individual, regardless of time and circumstance, is still able to get economic and physical access to enough, safe, and nutritious food that meets their nutritional needs and taste to continue an active and a healthy life all the time. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a huge impact on all people around the world. This pandemic has caused the worst food security crisis since 2008, which once recorded of one of the worst food security crises. The COVID-19 pandemic is indeed recorded as one of the worst crises ever. While all parties are working hard to ensure the safety and health of themselves and their families, some parties do not really see the aspect of food and nutrition as a problem. Maybe because it hasn't been directly affected because access to food is still easy to get. Before the COVID-19 happened, the food security crisis had indeed happened. According to FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, these issues include climate change, population dynamics, natural resources, productivity, disruptive technology, disease and insect, inadequate food supply security, structural change, food system migration, governance, and finance. According to UN, more than 820 million people, or 1 in 9 people, have problems getting enough food. From that number, 113 million people face the risk of starvation, which could eventually threaten their lives. This number has increased after the outbreak of this pandemic, which caused most countries in the world to declare movement control to break the chain of infection of this virus. The group most at risk of experiencing this crisis is the B40 group, including the urban poor, residents of rural and remote areas, and so on. Globally, countries with humanitarian crises are more affected by this pandemic, causing domestic needs to increase dramatically. Developed and developing countries may not be too dramatically affected. However, with most countries in the world taking action to declare control orders that limit the movement of their respective people, it also has an impact on the import and export activities of food crops. This ultimately gives a negative food chain effect. Producer countries cannot import their food crops. On the other hand, consumer countries cannot export their food crops. In the process of building an economic model that can ensure food security is guaranteed and dependence on external food sources is reduced, a model of adaptation to new or different conditions need to be built to identify how food crop producers react and respond to any changes that occur, and in this regard adapt to the new norms due to the COVID-19. Direction and reaction can be considered by the government in ensuring that the situation and condition of this group, who act as the backbone of the national food security structure, is always in good condition. These issues raise the question, what is the level of adaptation of food crop producers, especially in Sabah as one of the country's food crop producing states, in dealing with this issue? The objective of this study is to identify and analyze post-pandemic adaptation models among food crop producers in Sabah. Therefore, this study aims to identify an adaptation approach among food crop producers in Sabah. These adaptation approaches will be built based on the capacity development theory by focusing on three main aspects: namely cognitive, practice, and structure. Specifically, this study is divided into two research designs, which are exploratory and descriptive studies, divided into two main phases of the study. The study will involve two groups of informants, namely the Department of Agriculture and Food Crop Producers from the main food crop producing districts in the state of Sabah, who will be selected through purposive sampling. In the study, a qualitative content analysis method was used. The qualitative content analysis method is a research technique to draw conclusions systematically and objectively by identifying the specific characteristics of certain message. Adaptation approaches used by food crop-producing communities in post-pandemic at Kundasang can be divided into 5 approaches. First, delivery of food baskets. Food crop-producing communities in Kundasang have adapted by implementing a delivery system for food baskets. This involves bundling a variety of fresh produce into baskets and delivering them directly to consumers' doorsteps. This approach ensures a convenient and efficient distribution of locally grown food, allowing consumers to access fresh produce product without having to visit physical markets, thus adhering to social distancing measures. Second, distribute vegetables for free, lowering the price of vegetables. Some communities have taken the initiative to distribute vegetables for free or have significantly lowered the prices. This approach is aimed at addressing the economic challenges faced by community members and ensuring that nutritious food remains accessible to all. By lowering or eliminating costs, communities contribute to local food security and support those facing financial difficulties during the post-pandemic period. Third, changing types of durable plants. To enhance resilience and adaptability, food crop producers have shifted towards cultivating more durable and resilient plant varieties. This may include plants that are less susceptible to diseases, have a longer shelf life, or can withstand adverse weather conditions. The shift in plant types aims to ensure a more stable and reliable food supply, reducing vulnerabilities to external shocks and enhancing overall agricultural sustainability. Fourth, crops are left unharvested. In response to change in market demand or disruptions in the supply chain, some communities have chosen to leave certain crops unharvested. This decision is strategic and considers factors such as storage limitations or a surplus in specific crops. Leaving crops unharvested can be a practical response to avoid waste and allocate resources efficiently based on the actual demand for different crops. Lastly, online marketing. With the increased reliance on the digital platforms, food crop producing communities have embraced uh, online marketing strategies. This involves using websites, social media, or dedicated platforms to showcase and sell the product. Online marketing not only provides an alternative sales channel but also allows producers to reach a wider audience, establish direct connections and connection with consumers, and adapt to changing consumer behaviors in a digitalized post-pandemic environment. In summary, these adaptation approaches reflect the resilience and resourcefulness of food crop-producing communities in Kundasang, Sabah as they navigate the challenge posed by the pandemic. The multi-faceted strategies encompass aspects of distribution, pricing, crop selection, resource optimization, and embracing digital platforms to ensure sustained agricultural practices and food security. That's all from me. Thank you.